Welcome to Pro Tools. This is how I bounce out my stems. There may be easier ways, but this is how I do it, and I appreciate you for being here. First things first, I highly recommend bypassing as many plugins as you can, so that way whoever's mixing your stems can start off with a clean slate. Bypass your equalizers, your auto-tune, your compressors, everything and anything you can bypass, go ahead and bypass it. It's much easier to work with raw audio files than ones that have already been worked on most of the time. To quickly bypass all of your plugins at once, highlight all of the tracks and go up to the top where it says track. Once you are in the track drop-down menu, click on bypass inserts and then all. That will immediately bypass every single plugin on the tracks that you highlighted. Make sure to triple double check that everything is bypassed that you want to be bypassed before going on to the next step. Now that everything is bypassed, we need to clean up the tracks and make them whole. So that way when we send the stems to someone else, all they have to do is drag and drop the files into their timeline. You do this by committing the tracks. Before I commit the tracks, I like to make sure that there is a blank waveform at the beginning of each track. So that way when I do commit the track, it guarantees that the new waveform starts from the very beginning of the timeline. This just ensures that when the stems are bounced out, everything lines up perfectly for the next person that is mixing the track. I do this by just copying and pasting blank audio that are in my tracks already, or by recording no sound waveforms and placing them at the beginning of each track that has empty space. I repeat this process until I have done that to every single track that needs it. Highlight every track, then left click on one of the highlighted tracks, and then go to where it says commit. Click it and then this pop-up will come up. Just say okay, I believe the settings are good by default. Wait for a little bit or a lot of bit. Time varies based on your computer and how many files you are committing. You have now created a masterpiece. Look at how good these new waveforms look. I just want to eat them up for real. They look so yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy. In my tummy they could be. Maybe. One day they might be. For now though, keep them on your computer. They're not going in my tummy. They're going in your stems folder. Now that everything is looking nice and clean, it is time to begin exporting your tracks. I always export my vocals first and then everything else. I do that because I need to bounce the vocals out into mono. If I bounced everything out at once, then the files would not work how they should, and it would just be more of a hassle in the long run. A good rule of thumb is to make vocals mono and everything else stereo. Highlight all of the vocal waveforms and go over to your clips panel. Left click on one of the highlighted vocals and choose export clips as files. An export selected screen will pop up. Here you are going to select multiple mono and then choose a destination for the files to go to. Create a new folder and label it the name of the song and the artist and then put stems, just as I have it on screen right here. Feel free to add BPM or really any other info that could be useful. Once the folder is created, click export and the waveforms will begin to export. Now you are going to repeat the same process that we just did with the vocals on all of the other tracks this time. However, instead of exporting as multiple mono, export them as interleaved, which is basically just a stereo bounce. Everything is now properly bounced out and ready to work with easily. If you have not already, I highly recommend naming each file with what it is, just so that way it's easier for everyone in the long run. It's really awful to work with stems that you don't have a name with. Like if it's just random audio 1738 or something like that, it's really quite annoying to work with. So just save everyone the hassle and the time and just name them. Like, please just do it. It doesn't take long. Thank you. That is how I export my stems in Pro Tools, and I hope this video helped out a lot. That's pretty much it. Please like and subscribe and let me know if you found this video helpful in the comments below. Peace out.